Okay, this is volume of a rectangular prism. So we know that volume is the number of cubes needed to fill a 3D object. It is also known as the amount of space inside the object. So here's an example. Let's fill up this rectangular prism with cubes. First, let's fill up the bottom layer. How many cubes did this take? Well, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. So it took 24 cubes. Is there a faster way to do that instead of counting? Well, a faster way to add is to multiply. Okay, I guess the length, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times the width, 1, 2, 3, 4. 6 times 4 is 24. Okay, so now that we've found the base layer, let's count how many layers it will take to fill up the prism. So there's one layer. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It will take us 8 layers to fill up the prism, not prison, excuse me. What do the layers represent? Okay, they represent essentially the height, or how tall the layers are of the rectangular prism. So now that we've kind of looked at this from like a visual point of view, I wanted to show you this so that you understood where this formula came from. So we can find the volume by using this formula. I put A. Silliness, Clickman. That's supposed to be a V. Okay. Volume is big B times H. Now we've been using little b, like in a triangle. That's 1/2 base times height. So a little b, a lowercase b, just stands for the base. But a capital B, or big B, it stands for the area of the base. So please be careful when you see a big B, that's the area of the base of the rectangular prism. And then times the height, how tall it is. Okay? So practice finding the volume of the rectangular prisms below using this formula. V equals big B times H. So big B stands for area of the base. So I guess we kind of need to know that this is the base down here. You could visualize that. That's what it's sitting on. Okay? So this base has a length of 9 and a width of 5. So big B is going to be 9 times 5. Pretty easier if I extended the rest of this. Could you see it? Maybe, maybe not. Geometry is very spatial. You have to be able to see the picture in your head. It really helps. Okay, so 9 times 5 gets us 45 inches. Okay, so that's big B. The height is going to be how tall it is, which is 3. So if I were to plug that into my formula, volume equals big B times H, that would be 45 for big B times 3. So 45 times 3. 3 times 5 is 15. 3 times 4 is 12, plus 1 is 3. So this volume is 135 inches cubed. Volume is always cubed, okay, because you're finding the amount of space inside a 3-dimensional object, 3D object, cubed, 3. Okay, that's why area is squared, because it's a 2D shape. Okay, number 2, same process. I'm going to draw my base down here, color it in. So you can imagine this kind of looks like my pencil bag, or a perfect rectangle. If I were sitting it down like this, it'd be sitting on the bottom down here, which is a rectangle. Okay, so volume equals big B times H. Let's figure out B. So big B is going to be the area of this shape down here, which should be 22 times 5.5. So let's do that. 22 times 5.5. 5 times 2 is 10. 5 times 2 is 10 plus 1 is 11. Add a 0. 5 times 2 is 10. 5 times 2 plus 1 is 11. Add down. I have one number behind the decimal, so big B is 121. H is the height, which is right here, that's 7.5. So if I'm going to find the volume of big B times H, that'd be 121 times 7.5. I'll do that up here. 5 times 1 is 5. 5 times 2 is 10. 5 times 1 plus 1 is 6. Add your 0. 7 times 1 is 7. 7 times 2 is 14. 7 times 1 plus 1 is 8. Add down. And then I have one number behind the decimal. So that volume is 907.5 inches, or I'm sorry, the units are centimeters cubed. And then the last one, number 3. Again, volume of a rectangular prism is big B times H. So the base, or what this rectangular prism is sitting on, is down here. It's the bottom, base, bottom. Think of basement. Okay, it's at the bottom of your house. The base is the bottom. So big B is going to be the area of this rectangle down here. So that's going to be 3 times 2 and 1/4. I like to multiply with decimals. So 1/4 I know is 0.25. It's 1/4, 25 cents. If you did not remember that, you could typo your fraction. 4 goes into 10 2 times. That's 8. Add a 0. 4 goes into 25 times. So I'm going to change that to a decimal because that's just me. So 3 times 2.25. Let's do the math. 2.25 times 3. 3 times 5 is 15. 3 times 2 plus 1 is 7. And 3 times 2 is 6. 2 numbers behind the decimal. So big B is 6.75. H is 4.5. I like to use decimals, so I know that's 4.5. 1/2 is 0.5. If you couldn't remember that, you would type out your fraction just like we did with 1/4, and you would get 0.5. Now, if I'm going to plug them in, that would be 6.75 times 4.5. I'm going to do the math up here because I write big. Sorry. 6.75 times 4.5. 5 times 5 is 25. 5 times 7 is 35, plus 2 is 37. 6 times 5 is 30, plus 3 is 33. Add a 0. 4 times 5 is 20. 4 times 7 is 28, plus 2 is 30. 4 times 6 is 24, plus 3 is 27. Add down. 30375, and there's 1, 2, 3 numbers behind the decimal. So this volume is 30.375 meters cubed. There are no instructions that told me to round, so I just kept it at that. All right. Number 4, determine the height of a rectangular prism with a volume of 64 meters cubed and a length of 4 meters and a width of 8 meters. So if I were to draw a picture here, sorry, bear with me, it's not beautiful, we're going to act like that's a rectangular prism. It's telling me it's got a length of 4 and a width of 8. I know it's not to scale. I don't know the height. That's what I'm trying to find. I like to draw pictures in geometry. It's super helpful. If I were to write my formula, volume equals big B times H, and plug in what I know, well, it tells us that the volume is 64 meters. So right here, The volume is 64 meters, so that's my V. Let's plug that in. 64. Big B is the area of the base. Well, if I look over here, the base of this prism is 4 by 8. So big B is 4 times 8, which is 32. So I know big B is going to be 32, but I don't know H. So, looks to me like I'm missing H, and they want me to figure out what H is. So I'm going to rewrite this over here so I have a little bit more room underneath it. This looks like a one-step equation to me where I can cut it in half. And then I can isolate my variable by doing the opposite. Opposite of multiplying by 32 is dividing. 64 divided by 32, I'll tell you, is 2. So H equals 2, so the height of this prism should be 2. If I were to plug it in and check, big B times H, that would be 4 times 8 is 32, times 2 is 64. That is correct, so I know I did it right. And that is how you find the volume of rectangular prisms.